Hello, welcome back. Last time, I realized the button that I could press to solve Meridian, allowing me to pick apart pretty much the entire tangle that was layer whatever number this is. And I guess it really is -3, sure. So my saying 3 wasn't so far off. Anyway, so there's Dreamers and there's Quantum Bypass, and I want to do Quantum Bypass, because I've never touched this and I don't know what's going on here. I guess I activated those waypoints, but that's all I've done. Okay, I see some funny shenanigans here. Kinda. So this is obviously a setup where I can do... Wait. I can do that. And if for some reason I want to, I can stop that. Or get on top of it. Okay. Why would I want that? That monster block gotta die. How the heck do you expect to get... What are you saying to me? Oh, I think I see something. Okay, I think I see what's going on here. So I need to make a stack. That would be done by... Yeah, stack one, bring the other. I may have a problem with trapdoor count. So I want to bring this along at the time that I'm going to that waypoint. I'm going to have to bring it here. Alright, I got something going here. Check. Oh, right. I guess I need to hold that for a second so it keeps sliding. Oh, that's not gonna work. Okay, never mind. We got some problems. Alright, well, let's ignore the push block bringing part of this. Maybe that's unnecessary. It is not at all unnecessary. So I stopped this because I want to do a stacking action. There we go, stacking action was done. So my problem is, the arrangement I want to create is this, but transposed up so that these are on that waypoint. So I could hop up there, hop to the right, push that to the left, making a way to step across to here, kill the monster block, and ditch those and get out with the waypoint. But I've dropped too many trapdoors to do that. Okay. There might be ways around this. So, with the switch this way around... Wait, isn't that fine? No, because that stops sliding. Yeah, so with switch this way around, that stops sliding. So I feel the need to babysit it here to keep it sliding, but then that puts me in a position where this is the only path I can walk to actually get here and stop that in time. I don't need to do that, though. I can just stop this wherever I want to. Okay, I think I got trapped by an appealing-looking mechanism without realizing that I could do something much simpler without even using it. There we go. Okay, so that should be everything. Hit that, do this stack. It might be the first time I've made a stack like that. Use this to go out. Ah, you're a funny joker, aren't you? I see. Well, that's a problem. Okay, I think I see the solution. No, I sure don't. No, I sure don't. right? Let's see, if I did... No, that's never coming away from that wall if I don't put it here now. And the same story for the other one. Huh. That doesn't get it all the way there. Hmm. Okay, what? Huh. Unexpected problem. How would I deal with that? Okay, this room is playing, like, several unrelated jokes on me. I've resolved a few of them, but there's one that's not so obvious. So once I have a stack of 2, I could make a stack of 3, but I don't think I can do anything with a stack of 3. Now hold on. So, right, remember the context of this room. I was just here in superposition, which showed me a chimera behavior. Ah. So, okay, there's something more to this. I'm gonna be, like, double chimeraing or something? What am I talking about? Okay. So I'll put a stop to you right there. That's probably more space than you need. But let's go ahead and make a stack. Okay, right. So toggle this. Make a stack as I did, but that's not the end of the story. Oops. So now... Yeah, so I'm up here. I don't see that doing me any good. This, of course, doesn't let me use the waypoint or anything. But there's some way I can... No? What? How would this be relevant? Uh-oh. I don't understand what's happening. See, I'm assuming this has something to do with superposition because it was locked behind it and the setup is similar. And I have an impasse that I don't know how to solve otherwise. But how would this make sense? Okay, now I do notice I could do... Here's a silly thing I could do. No, I can't. I don't have time. Never mind. Okay, what am I actually doing then? I'm now throwing into question whether my goal is actually something that looks like this, but with me able to waypoint, or if it's something else. Because now I'm no longer sure. So right, the funky thing that happens is that I can merge with a block, but why would that matter here? I could have this parked anywhere I want to switch myself around with that if I wished. Let's see, is there some way this lets me get a hat? A hat would help. Wait, can I just do some haberdashery as it is? Oh, here we go. I see how this is useful, maybe. Okay. Do I? Why would I tell such a lie? But okay, if I were to do that and then... There we go, I have a hat. Okay, so that's a whole new way to gain a hat. Neat! It requires me to be on the other side of a sliding thing that's coming toward me, which is an unusual... it's not that unusual. A little unusual. Okay, I'm hatted. I had to use a trapdoor to become hatted. That trapdoor use could have been the one that put this in there, couldn't it have? Okay. Oh, this is clever. This is very clever. No, it could not have. I was using that on the other way around. Shoot. Well, hang on, but with a hat, I can also push that around. Okay, with a hat I can also push that around. So that's fine to just leave this here for now. Of course. Why would having a hat stop me from pushing? It would do no such thing. There we go. Okay. That was quite magical. Okay, and then I can escape like this, and there we go. Wow, and the reason that the superposition was involved was so that after starting this slide, I could get to the other side of that stack of 2 and stop it on the waypoint. Fascinating. Okay, yeah, so just like mechanics in this room not really seen previously, or mechanical implications. Okay, well that went very well. So all this leaves is Dreamers, because I am down to just... Is there a key trade I can do? No, I did them all. Because I need 2 Infernals here, plus all the Star Keys, and all the Star Keys includes the one from Dreamers. Okay! So it's down to the one thing, and to get there I go this way. Alright, let's dream. Not entirely mentally prepared for this room, but I'll do what I can. So what did I learn about this? Ooh, this text doesn't truncate quite early enough. That T should not be there. Okay, need to make a tweak to that. I have a bunch of those. I kind of just discover them when text width happens to line up like this. It's fine, they're usually close enough. This is readable, it just looks a little funny, that's all. How's the hit detection? Feels like I'm... Yeah, so I'm like, my cursor's hot spot is over the... Yeah, one pixel right of the left side of that border, so hit detection's a little off too. What about on this side? That side seems calibrated exactly right. This one's off by a native resolution pixel. And the text truncation is off by a bit. Anyway, so things in row, mostly reaching... Okay, so reaching south half, sure, that wasn't... I mean, I'll watch it. This was before I understood what the room was about. All of these were before I understood what the room was about, I think. But there was less I understood there than I didn't really pay much attention to what was happening. Okay, so what's the end state of this? All in a row, right, yeah, so the point of that was horizontal shuffle, okay. Then I have things in row 8, 5 reached again. Alright, so 2 separate instances of that. I have room for 1 monster block's worth of waste, and I don't know which row that goes into, but row 9 here is the one that I need to get 2 into, and I don't know how to, right? Something interesting, but not great. What's the end state? Yeah, so for a moment I have 2 things in row 9. Can't one of those stay there? Kinda? I guess the problem is I can't push something over in the same column as it. Okay, so how did I get here? Started the same as that other one. Then I stepped all the way down. Shuffle those around. Push those like that. These here. So now I have 2 rows of waste. 6 and 8. And that will not do. And both are definitely unresolvable because they have north boundaries that I can't do anything with. Because, okay, what's the goal again? Did I set any notes? Clear room before collecting key. Goal on room clearing visit. Reach switch at 13:14 and get back north. That's this one. On key collecting visit. Can set all blocks in the center and be saved. How to get a monster block in row 9 and leave it there while traveling south. That's why I say I need 2 there, because at least one needs to continue. I guess 3. 3 have to cross that. One has to stay, one has to go here, one has to go here. Or, you know, here and here. Okay. I want to rewatch All in a Row mostly. What was the story with this? Just remind me of the operations I can do. So I put it on a door. I hop down, I move aside the thing I was just standing on. I offset that by 2, I push 1 off, then I move it horizontally. Okay, and that move is not okay. Right, okay, so that's the problem with row 9. Because if I want this in line with what's to the north, then I can't stand to its north to push it. And I can't use a different column, because if I had done that over here and, you know, gotten off and adjusted it, then I'm not getting back on up here. Okay. Well, let's play with this concept for a moment. So here I have that. Let's have another. Which means I'm committing to having 2 things in row, was it 6? Yeah. Okay. You out of the way, you out of the way, just ignore those for now. Pretend, I mean, I can get them where I want them, pretty much. Well, that all looks super awful. I think there's pretty much no way that I actually want 2 individual stacks of 2 at this stage. No, that just feels all kinds of wrong to me. Let's have a stack of 3. That didn't do anything. Just 3? You want to go any further? Not right now. So these 3 going here. To align that, I go this way, I go around. No, I push this off. I realign this one when there's nothing on it. Okay. Push this down, push this over. And that's where I run into all the problems. Right, so a second one. Oh, I notice. I can do this. but I'm never elevating from here. That's impossible. Unless the switch has already been wait, can I adjust this after using the switch? Because there's two ways to get to that switch. Ooh, okay. Yeah, that doesn't help me because it's not these switches I've used. This one doesn't change anything about the edge geometry. So never mind. No matter what, since these are all monster blocks, ignoring, like, even if I could elevate these to 2, they would eat me if I tried to walk across them to walk on these. So that's never gonna happen. Yeah, at this point, technically I could realign, but it's a bad idea. Could I have had... Ooh... If I would go down and around, that's not productive. Why would I want to do that? I don't think I would. Okay, so I want something like this. And I want those last two to be where and how. Let's say instead of that I actually did this. So really I want them at 11.9 and 11.10. Like, I want my L shape to happen in row 10, or my horizontal arrangement in row 10 rather than... Ooh. No, the whole point is... I was gonna say, if it's at 11.10 it might as well be at 11.11. But that's not really true. Well, that could get me up for a moment, and then if I was back down here pushing this over... Problem is having something at 11.9 prevents me from pushing an 11.10 to an 11.11. So without changing anything else, I would like to get both of those here and here. This is perfectly arranged for that. If I could just get back up north when the puzzle is in this state, I'd be able to do that. Yeah, imagine if you could do that. Well, okay. No, that doesn't work because I can't align with a thing here. Okay, so first I need one there? Okay. Stack of 3. Separately, these do this. Then the stack of 3 goes across it? Sure, why not? That's why not. And this waste is not permitted. Okay, well let's ignore that for a moment. Right, you go away, you come over here to be... like that. Okay. Okay, there's a lot of problems here. So many problems here. How did I do this? I pushed something here into row 8 and then stepped north. Ah, okay. Sure. I can do that. Then when I elevate back there, none of that's any good. But okay, I'm down here. If I had been instead... like... this point I can't do that kind of thing. Again, can't have something in the position I just vacated. Okay, so I would have to have done this, which I'm doing anyway. And then do that. Why would I do any of those things? And also that puts two things in row 7, which is not where I want it. No, 8. So instead of that, could I have just left this here? Sure, I could have. And if I'm doing that, then... Okay, hang on. I'll put this way over here. That's too far. Sure, that's fine, whatever. That's there. No, that's too early. Okay, let's put this less far over then. Here, which is where I had it. What would this help? No, right. The point was this needed to be here. What, can it be this one instead? I push this like back up and ooh, reclaiming one. Oh, reclaiming one here maybe. Push north into row 9. Reclaim one by pushing north into row 9. Maybe? Maybe. Okay, but reclamation can only be set up by... nothing that's actually possible, huh? Would this be of any use if the layout were slightly different? Like, what change would turn this into a useful state? How did I set that up for reclamation? Well, I had 2 in this row. These can never be reclaimed. Can I do some of what I did, but without marooning something in row... what is this? 5? 6? What would that mean? Well, okay. This is not... this is all fine, isn't it? Sort of. Not really. I'm never getting around this loop to push this back north. Like, that's just not a thing I can do. Like, I'm gonna first create this state, then get back up here and shove this down there. Okay, if I had done that, I still wouldn't have what I need. Well, I have 1 extra monster block. If I'd shove a stack of 2 down, let's say, the center, and leave one there, and have left that here, and it's a stack of 2, then that would work perfectly. So that would mean something that looks more like this. So if I... Even so, I still have to get back up here. I mean, I could have stacked this one less, yes. How would I get those last two in those spots? But maybe I don't need to. So maybe the whole thing about having... okay, so the gap that's left in 9... No. No, that doesn't make any sense. In order to get back up here, I have to have something in row 9. Currently, there's nothing. Okay, so... can I get back here after having something having had something in row 8 without having 2 in row 6? Problem is, this happens. So that makes it look like a no. Unless I have a second thing already here. There's going to be no going back north. If this is my means of elevation... Or something already here? Yeah, just going backward is near impossible. But the feeling I'm getting is what I want is a partial bridge that I can push things across into, like, this area of the puzzle. Have things down here, and this held in a way that lets me push down to there. But I don't think that's a possibility I can actually create. It's just... I'd have to be down to move anything from this state. And then if I'm pushing south, there's nothing to my north. I can bring 2. Sort of. Not really, though. If I bring a stack of 2... hold on. Okay, let's try... Add a brief flash of something. So here's 3. Here's one for it to sit on. That goes here. No, it doesn't. That stays where it is. Something else goes there. What are you even thinking here? Like, come on now, this isn't gonna work. But let's pretend. I put that too far over, but that's okay. I'll put it on... Oh, I guess just like that. That's never gonna do anything good. No, that's terrible. Because these all just get locked in that row now. Okay, I don't know what's happening here, and I don't know what process would help me understand what that is. I don't feel like this is susceptible to the same kind of approach I use for Hot Zone and others, but... Gonna have to do something, because this is the last obstacle standing in my way. Alright, well, next time I'll figure out what to do here, I guess.